Bobby Rydell on hearing his very first hit on the radio for the very first time, Kissin Time. I'm John Bowden from nailsheet.com. Bobby Rydell was only 17 years old when he first had a hit in 1959 with Kissin Time. In all, he had 19 top 40 hits, including Wild Ones from 1960, Volare, his signature tune from the same year, and Forget Him from 1963. The last three were all million sellers. Well, there's something special about the very first hit you ever had, whether it's your biggest hit or not. Hearing yourself on the radio for the first time. We talked about that.
Yeah, I was driving to New York City with my manager. We're on the New Jersey Turnpike, and we get into the area where we can hear WABC radio. And I believe it was Bruce Morrow. And all of a sudden he says, here's a new kid that's out. His name is Bobby Rydell, and we'd like to play his first record for you. We think it's great. Here's Bobby Rydell and Kissin Time. And it blew my mind. You know, it was the first time I heard myself on the radio. And it was fantastic. It was great.
Bobby Rydell certainly wasn't an overnight sensation. He and his dad worked really hard at this. His dad helped him get out there, encouraged him the whole way, tried to make connections with him. So whenever people say, well, you know, you were an overnight sensation, that's not always the case. Of course, it happens a lot more these days with YouTube. Anyone can basically make a video, but that's a good thing. I asked Bobby Rydell something I ask every single artist I talk to these days because I'm curious about it, because it was something that I had in the beginning of my radio career when I had to get in front of people. We talked about stage fright.
You know, I don't know about stage fright, but, you know, from the early days when I was 7, 8 years old up until today, 76 years old, still nervous before, you know, I hit the boards, you know, and then once I'm on stage and the lights are there and the band is cooking, then everything becomes second nature.
Was your regiment loose when you were growing up as a teen, Bobby? Were you going, I got to practice an hour a day? Because you seem like a busy kid. What was your regiment like as far as being a drummer?
Well, you know, my first drum teacher was a man by the name of Sam D'Amico. And we used to go, my father used to take me to his house. We'd go upstairs and, you know, we'd go through different books, different drum books. Samuel Lano, bass bops, Rudy bops, Lawrence Stone, stick control, so on and so forth. The WSL Ludwig book. And at one time, I think I was, maybe 12 years old, 13. And at one point, Mr. D'Amico said, Bobby, I can't teach you anymore. I've taught you all I know. He says, if you want to go any further, you have to go to New York and study with a guy like Sam Yolano. And I turned to Sam, I said, you know what, Sam? You know, I'm done, you know, reading and practicing on the drum pad. I said, all I want to do is play now, man. And, you know, and that's, you know, I for some reason or another, when I just picked up a pair of drumsticks, I just started playing. And I mean, I knew time. And it's one thing that I really respect about myself is that I have great time, which is totally, you know, 100% most important to have great time. You know, if you do a tempo and it starts with one particular tempo, it ends in that particular tempo. And I picked up a pair of sticks and played time. Dang, 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 dang. It just came so natural to me. And, you know, that's why all of my conductors, you know, through the years have been drummers. From the first time at the Copacabana, I had a kid by the name of Rydell, who was a marvelous player. And then, you know, through the years, it changed drummers, but, you know, I always, you know, listened to the guy to see, you know, what kind of time he played, you know, how he can keep a tempo at its same pace. And that's why all of my conductors have been drummers. To this day, I have a kid by the name of David Kovnat. He's been with me for 40 years. And he studied from a guy who used to be my drummer, a kid by the name of Carl Matola. And when I needed a drummer, Carl played for me for about 8-10 years. And then he wanted to do his own thing, you know, yada, yada, yada. So he said, Bobby, he said, I'm teaching a kid. I think he'd be great for you, man. He's a pretty good player. He reads well, so on and so forth. His name is David Kovnat. And, you know, I went to hear him. He was playing with a local big band. And I enjoyed, you know, what I heard. And I talked to him. I said, would you consider, you know, working for me? And that was 40 years ago.
Bobby Rydell has an autobiography called Teen Idol on the Rocks, A Tale of Second Chances. It was released 2 years ago. We'll have more of our conversation with Bobby Rydell. You can go to his website if you're curious about concert dates, because he still tours, at bobbyrydell.com. For more on this interview, you can check 2 of our sister stations. There'll be links in the description of this video. Rock History Canada and Rock History Music for more information, because we spread these out to different channels. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Bowden from nailsheet.com.